little bit, but then we are going to get going. Hey, nice to see you. Sorry, we cannot start like that. They're not working. We need to fix the microphones. It's a big problem. We cannot start like this. Okay. I think you're almost ready. We are just going to adjust the microphones a little bit, but I am just going to say, welcome to Crypto Malta! And welcome to 30 days over 100k Bitcoin. I think that's it. The microphone is completely off, but I think we are going to tune them and fine tune them. 1 second. It's not working. We need to beef it up. Can you hear me? No. Okay, now you can hear me. This was okay, let's see if the microphones yeah, I'll try. Okay. I think this is a decent sound. Good. My name is Ferris. It's still really fuzzy. No, it's normally not. My name is Ferris, and I love technical issues because it wouldn't be the same without them. We are Crypto Hub Malta, the blockchain native community in Malta. Physically, we are. Oh, this is better. I think this is very good. Okay, I think we're here. I think that's it. I think it's working now. We are physically in Soho office. Soho office is a co-working space where people can work in the third and the second floor. Here's the event location where every Wednesday we have our meetups. Now, tonight we are going to talk about working in crypto and AI, and we are going to have a little look behind the scenes. There is going to be 2.5 presentations. So we're starting with a little pitch. 5 minutes. The speaker knows it's only 5 minutes. Where is the speaker? He's right there. 5 minutes. And then it's over. Followed by 2 presentations. One by Emily from Hype and the second from Biagio from SV Labs. I got it. Very well. Before we start, I am just going to make some announcements. They are a little bit boring, but I need to because I feel obliged by our mission. This was our website, Crypto Hub Malta. It just disappeared. Here it is again. Go check it out. Now, this is a POAP. Who knows what a POAP is? Some people know. Now, a POAP is a proof of attendance protocol. It's a very easy way to get started with crypto. Scan this QR code. You are going to receive a free NFT, and it proves that you physically have been here. Now, if you have heard a rumor that there's going to be a boat trip in summer where you are going to receive a big discount with the POAP, that rumor was started by me. But it's still true. So try to collect the POAPs. I am going to put it up after the presentation if you didn't have the chance. There's one every week, and there is going to be a functionality integrated in the activities that we do with the community every week. So if you have those POAPs, you are going to be the new OG. OGs are the original gangsters that bought Bitcoin early, and you can be one of them if you claim this POAP now for free. Plus, there's going to be some advantages down the line. Now, this is the picture of the rumor I'm spreading. I don't think it's going to look like that because that catamaran looks actually quite packed. It is AI generated. Also, there's going to be a Crypto Hub Malta flag, obviously. Now, we are Crypto Hub Malta. I mentioned those are the different platforms that we're using. There's a website, but really the most important one is the Telegram group, in my opinion. There's a QR code you can scan just over there to join it. It's a private invite because if we make it public, there's going to be way too much spam. So this is the way to join and to share anything that you want to share, ask your questions, and just engage. We are also on Instagram, and on Instagram right now we are going to publish a discount code for the Supercharger Venture Festa that starts on June 23rd. It's going to be 1 week festival where they are going to engage with anyone who's interested in tech, educational technology. It's actually going to be at the Presidential Palace, the Vedala Palace, the summer residence of the President of Malta. There's also going to be a boat trip. Not as cool as the crypto boat trip, but there is going to be one. You can check it out and claim 15% discount on the tickets. Ah, that's the Festa. Very smart of me. I put it up there. Now, before we get started, just one little word about the current situation. I told you that there is a new all-time high, and I think right now it's still all-time high or almost all-time high of Bitcoin. Has anyone checked the price? What is the price of Bitcoin right now? You don't know? What are you doing all the time? Don't you hit F5 all the time to refresh? I will assume, since I checked 20 seconds before I came on stage, it was still $110,000. And there's a reason for it. Somebody was, huh? How much is it? That's it, I'm gonna jump. No. There's a reason for it. When I started, the price was not so high. But somebody has been pushing up this boulder, up the hill. And those people were you. It's the community that is welcoming beginners. If you are here tonight for the first time, raise your hand right now. Okay, there's a fair amount of newcomers. Please welcome them. We were all beginners at one point, and now is the time where you can look them in the eye, say hello, and tell them to buy Bitcoin, but also tell them it's not financial advice. Okay. So this is very important, and this is actually what it's going to be about tonight, because if you have any ideas that you want to bring out there, that you want to advertise, or that you want to develop, tonight is for you, where you can learn how this is done in Web3. I think that's it. I told my silly jokes. I told you about the boat trip and the POAPs. We are going to start with the first presentation. It's a short presentation, and I'm going to look at the watch. Everyone, welcome to Cameroon.
Thank you, Ferris. Awesome, guys. My name is Cameron Innes. I'm 22 years old, and I was privileged enough to actually get into crypto as a teenager. So today I'm going to be speaking about something I'm quite passionate about, and that is tokenization. So this is just a concept. I don't think that we are close to here yet, but will people be tokenized? So just imagine this as a concept. You are the asset, your personal brand becomes your stock, and people will invest in you based on your performance. So does anyone know what happened at the start of this year? What coin launched that reminds you of this? Trump, exactly. So Trump is interesting, right? Because by Trump creating a meme coin, if people like Trump, they will buy Trump coin. So this is the first sort of macro example of tokenization. So Trump coin, the first to do it. So what makes Trump so interesting is obviously people see memes as speculative, and it is completely true. But the only thing that determines the price of an asset is what other people are prepared to pay for it. So what I find interesting is we have the president of the USA creating his own meme coin, and I find it just crazy. This cycle was dominated by meme coins. So guys, I'm sure a few of you are familiar with Pepe the Frog. The reason that this meme coin was so big is because Pepe is actually one of the most recognized memes on the internet. When people see Pepe, they feel like they can actually relate with it, and they can see it as a way to express themselves. So Pepe went to $11.1 billion market cap this cycle. So tokenization as a marketing concept. I find this really interesting, but you have to think about this, right? If someone goes right now and tries to create a meme coin or a token, the problem is that people aren't exactly going to buy it. You have to be able to market the token in a way that people can actually see the project on their DEX screener and their DEX tools. So what I see from tokenization is you can get global exposure overnight. And a project I find very interesting is actually Mansory, a car company. Just think about it, a luxury car company created a token, and it's currently sitting on a $40 million market cap. The chart is still very healthy. And I think this is another example of what we're going to see is real life companies starting to actually create a token as a form of marketing for them. So why launch a coin? There's two things to understand. Impact. versus culture. So in my opinion, I think that if someone's interested in launching a coin, you have to understand that it is a full speculative space. But the only thing determining the price of a meme coin or even a utility coin is what other people are prepared to pay for it. So if you're a good founder and you can do the basics right, such as marketing, you can promote the project correctly, you'll notice that people will have more demand to pay for it. Proof it works. So this is a pretty funny story, but 2 months ago, I was in Bali on a surf trip and I met another crypto guy and I spoke with him and I said, hey man, what do you do? And he said, I'm full-time in crypto. And I said, no ways, me too. And when I actually spoke to him for a bit, I said, by any chance, have you heard of, and I mentioned a coin that, I was part of the team on. And he said to me, no ways, man, I got in early. Me and my friends actually made money on it. And going back to the point earlier, this is the pure example of global exposure. If some random guy can see a meme coin and they can be so interested in it, it just proves to you that it can really target the whole world. So we were obviously DEX tools trending for 3 days, and it's really a prime example of what true marketing could be. So my team and I, we created a company called Block Studio, and what we're essentially doing is we're an all-in-one agency for crypto. So we'll actually help people, guide them through the steps to bring their ideas to life. Not only meme coins, not only utility coins, but essentially anything can be tokenized. So we believe that if you market your product correctly, if you have the right influencers promoting it, if you're able to actually make other people see a demand for your product, then there's a very good chance that it will succeed. Thank you, guys. This is a contact page. Okay, any questions? We don't have much time, so we'll do one question.
One question, and then the time is out. One question here in the back.
Hi, thank you for this. I've been waiting, I think, for 2 years for this. Awesome. So anything can be tokenized. Let's forget about Trump for a second. What about how quickly can you tokenize a property that's for sale in MDNA?
Good question. So when it comes down to property, I still think that the concept of having an NFT that represents a property, I think this is more the way to go as of now. So you have a one-on-one NFT created by the founder, and then obviously the property would be in the lives of the NFT. That's what I personally think. I don't think I'm at the point yet where we can tokenize property. It's something that I'm still learning about.
Okay, that's it. Pitch is over. Thank you very much, Cameron.
Thank you so much.
He's going to be around, so catch him at the bar after the presentations are over. Thank you very much. Now, the next presentation that we have is... Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. Here we go.
Hello. I've never had the microphone this close to my ear, so I feel like my voice is so loud right now. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. Do I have a clicker? I have no.
Let me just do the introduction. So, this is Emily. She is working for an agency that is actually Berlin-based but lives in Malta. It's going to be a really high-level, like top grade Web3 presentation. We wanted to make this in a good way to welcome her with a clap, so we have it for the video. That is like still kind of working. We're gonna cut it. Emily, everyone, welcome.
Thank you for the clap. Thank you. Thanks for the intro, Ferris. So I typically do keynotes and presentations on crypto growth and marketing, but because the audience, I'm doubting many of you are marketers, this is going to be slightly different. I really want to make this more on what it means for you and go over the state of crypto, especially as someone that has worked in it full-time for the last 4 years and got into Bitcoin in 2013. Here's a little bit about me. I'm the CMO at Hype. We're a full-service crypto marketing agency. There's about 90 of us. I'm a full-time marketer. I've always been in marketing. So prior to getting into crypto marketing the last 4 years, I built Shopify stores, dropshipping, e-commerce, helped friends with startups. Yeah, I discovered Bitcoin in uni in 2013, lost all the money. I'm not a good trader. I'm a better marketer. And I spend too much time working and usually on X. I want to understand who is here. So who here invests or trades crypto? Can you raise your hands? Okay. Who is building in crypto, is a founder or building a startup? And who here is just drunk, curious, or trying to hang out? Okay, awesome. I have a little bit of something for everyone then. Okay, so current state of crypto from the inside. You know, honestly, even though I work in the space and I'm invested in the space, this beginning part is going to be an objective reality, and it's not looking great. And I think the last presentation was a really good segue into this. So 2008, right? I learned about the Bitcoin white paper in 2013. If you have ever read it, it goes over some really great values like peer-to-peer, or removing the middlemen, or you don't need the Federal Reserve anymore, or central bank, or privacy. And in 2014, we got Ethereum. So we got decentralized apps, we got smart contracts, we got the world computer. This is the reality of, since 2021, over 3.6 million tokens have died. And these are just tokens tracked on CoinGecko. So this research came out in May. It's fairly recent. And I'll show you some data in a bit that shows that there's even more tokens constantly dying on a daily basis because of things like pump.fun, or because it's so easy to just like one click launch a token. And so what has happened in the last few years is we've gone back and forth in a pendulum in this space. So if you ever got into crypto because of NFTs or the metaverse, that was probably around 2021. And I think that was the first time where celebrities started shilling tokens. They started building projects or saying that they bought land in Decentraland. So this was like the app stage. And then gas fees soared really, really high. So if you've never played with crypto or bought things with crypto, what gas fees are is when the blockchain gets bloated, you have to pay even more. So when this happened, we swung back to, we need more infrastructure. And so now what's happened is, I'm not sure if you know this, but there's more than 350 blockchains. But if you look on, I think this is DeFi Llama. This is me actually live onboarding my friend. She works at Tesla, so she's smarter than me. She's not in crypto whatsoever. And I was explaining to her blockchain, and this is her reaction when I told her there's over 350 blockchains. Has anyone here seen any of these logos or heard of layer 2s? Cool. So to solve the issue of Ethereum not being able to scale and having really expensive fees, there's a ton of these layer 2s that are popping up. So Coinbase has launched their own, Kraken just launched theirs, there's Unichain from Uniswap, and there's many, many, many more. And think about it, each of these actually cause friction with the user experience, right? Because if I want to do something on Base, I need to bridge onto Base. And again, if you've never used crypto, I'm probably speaking a different language to you. And so overall, crypto is getting really, really saturated. This is actually data from Third Web. They're an API provider. There's over 2,500 blockchains. These are layer 1s, like Ethereum or Bitcoin, layer 2s, layer 3s. And to make things work between all of these blockchains, there's a ton of infrastructure and middleware that needs to happen. So this could be like data availability, it could be wallets, it could be scaling solutions. Now there's ZK rollups. So there's a ton in the middle. And then every day there's new tokens getting launched. There's about 47 million. This is the data from Dune. And it's only pulling the tokens from these different blockchains. So again, there's over 300 blockchains, right? So just imagine if there's already 47.8 million tokens just on these blockchains, there's many, many more. So why is this bad? Because if we want actual mainstream adoption and there's so many tokens and people are constantly losing money on them, like capital is limited. I don't know about you, but I don't have unlimited money. If you found this glitch, like the unlimited money glitch, let me know afterwards. I also don't have unlimited attention, so I can't realistically learn about every single token that gets launched. And because tokens are primarily PvP, it's always someone's going to lose and someone's going to win. This is another friend I onboarded, and I was like, hey, choose your wallet. And she got overwhelmed and was just like, let's go with rainbow because I like the colors. And here's the problem. What I see a lot in crypto marketing and the projects we work with, so we don't work with meme coins, we work with usually Series A VC-backed companies. So for example, we worked with Kraken, we've worked with Ledger, we've worked with Optimism. I'm not sure if these names mean anything to you, but they're fairly big projects. The issue is that people are viewing token as the product, and I'll go over why in a second. There's multiple audiences. So for certain investors, VCs, market makers, exchanges, they purely care about the token price because that's how they get an exit. but it's not a sustainable growth strategy. And so what happens is sometimes projects are launching a token which doesn't have any inherent value. Like, for example, I pay ChatGPT happily $20 a month because it does something for me, right? But if I'm buying into a token that isn't attached to an actual utility, the only utility is I'm guessing that the price will go up. And we can't make this guess over and over and over again across 44 million tokens with new ones launching every day. On top of that, there's also 44 different narratives. This is tracked by Kaito, but there's many, many more. So on the on the left here, it's tracking different narratives that new projects are launching with in marketing to try to get as much attention to generate demand for tokens, even if the tokens have no utility or if there's no product whatsoever. So actually in the green, I know it's hard to see, but what's been the biggest trend is AI this year. And usually all of these different narratives have different tokens, but yeah, there's restaking, there's LSTs, there's a ton of trends. And so as a marketer, and also as someone who's investing, we're constantly like overwhelmed with all of these new narratives when we're thinking about what to invest in. And this is what I see every day working in the space. Now, also as a marketer and being in a space, the thing about crypto and blockchain is unlike ChatGPT, where it's like, okay, we have two distinct customers. There's like the API that I'm going to sell to businesses, and there's the end user like Emily who wants to generate video and images. With tokens, there's multiple global audiences. So in the middle, there's retail and token speculators. These are people that are purely going to buy Trump coin. I actually bought Trump coin, and I don't really care for Trump, but I bought Trump coin speculating it would go up, and it did, and then it dumped. There's also tech partners, because if you're building infrastructure, especially when blockchain is composable, you need to connect with other blockchains or other providers to make the product more useful. There's listing partners. These are market makers and exchanges, regulators and institutions. If you're an ecosystem, so if you're building a blockchain, you need to attract developers to build dApps on them or apps on them that can actually get your retail users. So you need to do hackathons, have grants. VCs, angels, investors, these can also be KOLs or influencers. And then customers and users are separate, because there are cases where you have a working product and people are paying to use the product. A really good example of this is Hyperliquid. It's a perp DEX. I'm a personal customer and user of Hyperliquid. I also have the token, but I don't necessarily need the token to use the product. So the reality is, like, when I look at mainstream news, it's not looking so great for crypto, right? On the outside, there's a lot of scams that are going on. I actually have a friend that works in an organization that they found out somebody there was from North Korea. And these are things that are normal. I've been rugged many times. I've been scammed. These are normal things that happen in the space. And it makes sense why Netflix, if you look at crypto, everything that is about blockchain and crypto is about scams, because this is what gets views. So the outside impression isn't great. And if we look at the data, cycle over cycle, so that big red spike there, that was 2017. The second one is 2021. The third one is currently right now. This is the search terms on Google. So every cycle, it's going down. There is inflow coming into ETFs, but overall demand is going down. And all of this is because if people are losing money over and over again, they're going to become more and more skeptical, and they're not going to experiment with new tokens or new things being built on chain. And I verified this with friends that aren't in the space. Everyone knows what Bitcoin is, but they usually see it as purely a financial asset, similar to speculative stocks. Oh, I had a really pretty picture here of Dingley Cliffs. It's not showing. But the point of this is to show that most meme coins, most launches, most airdrops, they look like this. It's basically like a huge drop-off. And this has been happening a lot this year. Like, even if it's getting launched on Binance, this was not the case last cycle. But if you look at many, many projects, who here knows what an airdrop is, by the way? Okay. So there's a lot of like terms I feel like I'm using that many people here don't know. So airdrops are a way where you can actually get free tokens. And usually in the past, you can get these free tokens by doing things on the chain, experimenting with it. Think about it like a bonus or a reward. And the thing about airdrops is, in the past, people would hold the tokens, assuming it would go up. But because things have been pretty bad in the markets, most airdrops get dumped. So when projects give out rewards to get people to learn about the blockchain, and people get these airdrops out of marketing, they instantly sell them. And then the chart looks like this too. Okay, so what this means for you, I got all of like the negativity out of the way. I'm sorry, I feel like the vibes are pretty down right now. You did come to a crypto meetup, but I think it's important to be real, and I work in the industry. So if you are a founder building in this space, it's more important than ever right now to show that you have conviction in what you're building, to show up in podcasts, show up on X, get the partners you need, showcase revenue. You can do this with doing analytics, so you can actually show on-chain revenue, because if you just say, hey, I have this token, it's not usually the way, it's not sustainable. And yes, we use influencers as well. But again, tokens are PvP. And then also being honest and patient. So admitting any mistakes. Right now, the types of founders that are doing this, they are the ones that are actually building for the long haul. I think maybe a common example is Solana. So Solana has been here for the long haul. They've gone through the trenches and now they're back up. And if you look on Twitter, you can actually at the CEO and he will reply to you. Like, he's constantly on Twitter and he is actively replying to things. And they've also gotten to a point now where their apps and their ecosystem partners are doing the marketing for them. So for example, if you want to trade on pump.fun, you need to bridge to Solana anyways to get there. And then also, I go through existential crises sometimes, just working in the space for 4 years. So this is, I kind of wrote this for me. It's like my personal diary, but let me be real. Like, why do I work in crypto? It is on the frontier of tech. To be honest, I get to work with some of the smartest people. They're on the front ends of AI. I get to work with people all over the world. Our company right now, there's 90 of us. We're in 30 different countries. And there's a lot of crypto conferences that I travel to that are in different places. And it's, yeah, I've never worked in an industry, I was in tech before, where everything is so collaborative and you can reach out to anyone online. It also unlocks access and opportunities. So I've seen people actually get out of their 9 to 5 or get out of certain financial situations because of airdrops or because they were able to get a job in crypto. It's a very remote global workspace. So I have seen it unlock access. And I've also seen it unlock access to things like equities or stocks, because now that everything is on chain, you can actually buy the S&P 500 or buy Tesla stock, even if you're not American, if you have just a crypto wallet and some crypto. It's also a coordination layer without middlemen. So this is outside of just the speculation and the token itself, but this infrastructure, if you have a crypto wallet, you can use it on different dApps. So essentially your bank follows you around, where right now, like, my data is on Twitter, my data is on Instagram, all of these things are separate. And crypto payments rails also power AI use cases. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but there's a ton of AI agents that have taken over Twitter or other social channels. And with crypto, you can actually connect the AI agent to a wallet and have it spend your money. So it helps and enables the future of AI and making things a lot more automated, and allow you to make purchases that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, or you would need to manually do. I think I skipped the middle one here. Sorry, when I talk too much, I really need water. So let me grab this. I feel like I'm just yelling at everyone. Okay. It enables an ownable internet. So you have a lot more control on your data, your privacy, and whatever you want to do with it. Actually, on monetizing yourself, there's already apps that are available for this. So Friend Tech was an early one. You can monetize your reputation. There's Ethos right now. So there are early experiments on this. And most importantly, I really think it comes down to freedom and sovereignty. So being able to control your money, control how you move around the world, I think that's the beauty of crypto. I'm going to show you some actual use cases that are real, that are live. I'm not vouching for any of them. These aren't about the actual token itself. Ostium is a really cool project. You can actually trade anything: gold, oil, stocks, S&P 500. There's no KYC. Connect your crypto wallet. You need to be on Arbitrum, though. That's another blockchain. So it's really cool. I've saw people that are in Africa able to access stocks that usually are only available to the US. Wildcat, right now you can actually lend your money to market makers and get 14% yield. It's institutional. You can actually see everything on the blockchain as well. So you can earn a lot of yield lending and borrowing permissionlessly, which I think is pretty cool. ZK Passport, they've been building for like 4 years, and they finally launched their iOS app. So this allows you to choose what information you want to share. So you can scan your whole passport, right? But people don't need to know exactly when you were born or the passport number. So you can selectively choose information, and it verifies with blockchain that that is you. Some other things that are cool to check out. Aave is probably one of the biggest names. Has anyone heard of Aave? Okay. Okay, so Aave has about 3 trillion US dollars locked into it. It's another protocol where you can borrow, supply. You can do this all permissionlessly. So what I mean by this is typically if you want to borrow money from a bank for your house, right? You need to go to a bank, you need to like prove that you make a certain amount of money. With Aave, you can do this without any middlemen. Vaults is a place where they aggregate all of the different decentralized finance yields, so you can look and see what has the most yield, what is the most risk tolerant for you, and base it off that. So it's just like an aggregator. I think when I took this screenshot, you can get up to 13% APY. And then Spark is made by MakerDAO, another huge DeFi protocol. So like this rate is probably in line with T-bills right now in the US. I think it's higher than Europe. I think Europe just cut it down to like 2%. So if you had stablecoins, you could make more. The other thing about on-chain apps is outside of finance, there's also social apps being made. So there's quite a few, and many of these I'm on already. Farcaster is a decentralized Twitter, essentially. What's really cool about it is you can never get shut down because it's on the blockchain. And also your wallet is connected on it. So I can actually tip people directly without their permission. I can just send them money, or anytime they like a post, they can also set it up to where they tip me. There's also projects that will give you free airdrops, which again is free money by just going and consuming their content. Lens is another version of this. They're on a different blockchain. There's also Zora, which is like an Instagram, where anything that you like is kind of collecting an NFT, so you can get paid essentially for your Instagram. All of these things are built on blockchain rails. This one on the right is Ethos. So this is a way to actually tokenize yourself, and you can put yourself and your skill set on the blockchain, and people are trading. I have personal thoughts on this. I don't love the idea of financialized reputation, but that's a whole other discussion. But these things exist. There's also projects like this, like Kaito, where you can actually, this is an example, you can earn money from these projects by interacting with their app, talking about them on Twitter. So there's a ton of like money that they give out. I think so far this year, they've given out $74 million, and this is all on X. And a little bit more. So now there's actually over 15 crypto credit cards, or sorry, debit cards. I think the best one for Europeans is probably Holy Held. There's also Tuyo. You do need to KYC for these, but you can actually spend your crypto now. And you can do this without any fees. You can also move things back to Revolut. So there are ways to actually use crypto in real life. So yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to crypto enables choice. Whether you choose to buy Bitcoin or not, whether you choose to do any of these things, I just think it's important to share what is available and what is being built out there. Because as grim as everything looks, there is a lot of cool tech being built on crypto rails. You can earn yield on your crypto and stablecoins. You can lend and borrow without permission from anyone, without going to the bank. You can experiment with new decentralized apps, protocols, and even possibly earn some money from it. You can also trade assets. So I don't know how the stockbrokers work here, but in the US, if I trade on like mutual funds or I sign up, I need to give them my passport, my social security number, and wait. And then I need to wait 3 to 5 days for my funds to hit the bank. And the UX is so awful. The UX on crypto is actually getting better. So now with these decentralized exchanges, you can just trade any asset you want. You can also just hold it as a financial asset or as a hedge. So you can hold Bitcoin, like that's up to you. You can also not. And you can learn, share feedback, make content, share your opinions, and actually earn airdrops from it from projects like Kaito. And if you're a builder, so if you're technical, there's a lot of grant money that goes to developers from ecosystems. So you can actually partake in these hackathons and build your own dApps or even build a content plan and possibly earn that way as well. So there's a lot of things available outside of just trading in the token side of crypto. Thanks so much. If you want to learn more about Hype, you can scan that, and yeah, that's my socials, but also I'm here in real life, so just say hi. Questions? Oh, okay. Does anyone have questions? How many questions can we do?
If you have a question to Emily from Hype, up with the hands, and we are going to pass the microphone to you. Any questions? So I have a question. For example, if I liked your presentation and I want to launch a new coin, how could I start? How should I approach you? Apart from sending you a message, like what would be the first step in your process to launch a new project?
Like if you want to launch a token because of my presentation?
It will be a token, Emily. It's always the token.
Okay. I think we would have to sit down and have a chat. Yeah, like we do a lot of token marketing, right? Like most of what we do is helping projects get to TGE, which is a token generation event. But I think like we selectively work with some of the top projects because like these things are essentially PvP. So it's player versus player. Um, I think I would first ask you why, what does a token do? What's the purpose of it? What's the point? And then, yeah, we'd go from there.
To make me rich and rock pull the investors. Thank you very much for the answer. Here's the next question.
You had this slide. Thanks. Really enjoyed it. You were right that I should come here today.
Which one?
No, the presentation, I loved it. Very nice. Very detailed also. You had a slide with the plants in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I come partially from the gaming industry, okay? And in the gaming industry, there's a huge problem of trust, okay? So
Right.
that's why people network, they meet each other. Can you give a bit more detail? I believe in your philosophy because ultimately there's forget the rubbish outside, but it's a lot of people are constantly trying to hide their face. I don't know why on the internet. I'm fine. I don't need to hide my face from no one. And I believe that if I had to do the next thing, more voice. Okay. Hello. So I believe that if you are building, you have to show your face because that's how people trust. Like if I used to buy eggs from somebody before, I know the guy is Charlie. It's not Charlie, but
Right.
you feel better buying eggs from Charlie than from a shop. You know? Can you give us more examples on how to do this?
Yeah, so in crypto marketing, one of the tactics we talk about is founder branding and why it's even more important in crypto than in tech. Because in tech, usually there's an actual product that people can use right away to establish trust. But in crypto, it's pre-product market fit. So you work in the gaming industry. I don't know exactly what, but I assume you have some games that I can go ahead and play. So there's already something I can do. I'm sure if I go to your website, I will know exactly what it is. I think the issue with crypto marketing is because there's so many new tokens being created and there is only such a limited there's only such limited capital to go around. There is obviously going to be tokens that aren't going to make it. So it is more important than ever to not just show your face on socials, on podcasts, on the news, wherever you can on publications, but to also directly talk to your community or possible users. And that's why you'll see like Vitalik on social, who is the creator, one of the creators of Ethereum, or you'll see Toli, who is one of the creators on Solana, directly talking back to people, because that creates a direct one-on-one relationship. It also instills trust. Right now, the thing is we're seeing more and more founders do this. So there was actually a huge scandal. If you work in the industry, this was something that, how do I go back? This was something that recently happened. So like Mantra, they had a token called Ohm and it plunged 99%. So literally like the chart was, it was awful. It was like straight, like probably worse than Dingley Cliffs. So like it went inside. And the founder was very, very present. There's also, I don't think I have it here, movement in the top left. There was a really young founder named Rushi, and he was essentially kind of the face for this project. So the thing is, every time there's a big scandal or scam that happens, and even people are doing these tactics, the people, consumers and retail are getting more desensitized. So as a founder, you need to change, you need to do something even more. I've seen founders get on Discord calls with people, call the users directly. So it is super, super time intensive. But the reason for that is because if you're building infrastructure, the life cycle to build this technology out takes a long time. So you do need to kind of instill trust, especially if you're here for the next 10, 20, 30 years versus just like a pump and dump.
Okay, are there any more questions? Up with the hand. Otherwise, we are going to move on to the next presentation. Thank you very much, Emily.
Thanks for having me.
She's going to be around. If you want to hit her up later to launch your next project, she will be there. Now, last presentation of tonight is going to be Biagio from SV Labs. Let me just put on the presentation that is definitely for sure ready here. And this is the one. 1 second. Okay, I went to the last slide. 1 second, sorry. Okay, this is the first slide. Biagio from SV Labs, everyone.
Thank you very much. I'm Biagio. I'm going to be 57 in a few hours. So I'm trying to. I'm sorry for my English. Also, it's been a while. But what we wanted to develop once we decided to launch SV Lab, that is Studio Venture Lab here in Malta, was having the possibility to work on the crypto world in a compliant way, because in Europe it's quite impossible to work with companies and giving them the possibility to have tokens or tokenization or crypto investments possible as per as a company. This is because we have legal stuff to face and to be compliant with legal, fiscal, and everything like that. So we wanted to be reliable on the fact, and having the possibility to work in Malta was something that we decided to try after being in Gibraltar, in Luxembourg, in Dubai, in Cyprus, in Singapore. No one could give us the possibility to work in Europe. That is something that we want to focus on. Talking about the possibility that we have in this moment, historical moment for us as Europe, to have companies coming from outside the, outside the European entourage and trying to enter also with crypto investments in Europe, and on the other side, having the possibility to work with the startups in Europe with money coming, money that is crypto from abroad. So these are the partners. We are much more than this. This is the founder and strict collaborators. The three founders, Stefano Giordani has been working on the crypto world since 2013, something like that. Tiziano is working on the innovation and technology, and me, I'm an expert in marketing and communication of the Web 2 world. Why I'm focusing on the Web 2 world? Because communication and marketing in those worlds, they need to move on what is behind the scenes of crypto, because the companies, they need to understand what is the value that they could have on blockchain and tokenization and whatever before changing strategically their approach to the market. So actually, what we are working is talking to the venture capital and talking to the startup. What we found before we decided to launch is the fact that many times we were making due diligence on the tokens, not on the value of the startup or the product or the service, but only on the vesting and the token. And so many are selling the token, they're not selling the product or the service. And in this moment, the venture capital, for example, VCs are not interested anymore in spending money on the token. They want to see the product, they want to see the service before they give you the money. And on the other side, we are not keen anymore in looking at good tokenization systems that are not followed by a good product or a good service. I don't know if you found many of these, but many on the market. And this is why on the presentation before, you see that every time you have less interest in the tokenization phase, or less interest in terms of how much money can I give to the token or the stable itself. So this is something that is going to be like that if we don't look at the Web 2 money come to the Web 3 because of the fact that you have good product and good service in the blockchain system that is good for the Web 2 world. we have some cases talking about, so in the last 6 months, everything has changed thanks to artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence for us means whatever we can do to shorten the time that we dedicating to finding the right projects and the right approach to serve the VCs, mainly the VCs, the good products. So what we are working on is finding Web3 AI solutions that are good for the Web2 companies. We can work together with the startups that are trying to launch new experiences with the artificial intelligence. But again, we need to find good products and good services, not good token or good ideas around artificial intelligence. We see thousands of ideas. In this moment, we need product and services. The marketing services we are working on are events and social marketing and contents, of course, and the case studies are coming from also some cases that we had before in the also the Web3, but also the Web2 world. What we built up was the partnership with Semoto Syndica. It's something that you for sure know. And in this moment, we are also launching. I don't know if it's on this specific presentation. We are working on the building up of two platforms. The platform that is called Tangle 2. Tangle 2 is a platform where we are working on building up the protocol for the agent to talk to other agents. So talking about artificial intelligence, you will have agents that are going to ask questions to other agents of other companies. So first of all, you as a company, you have to digitalize for the agent and to summarize for the agent, for your agent, all the information related to your company. On the other hand, you have the personal agent or whatever you want to do that has to ask to these agents spread out in the world whatever you want to know. So I make an easy example. I have an agent on my iPhone and I ask him or her, please provide me a nice holiday trip, whatever you want, based on my last trips or based on whatever you think I will be interested in. The agent has to talk with the agent of Booking, the agent of Ryanair, the agent of whatever you can think about, the restaurants or whatever, and the agents, they have to answer in the correct way. So these agents, they are all talking different languages by now. So we built up a platform where the developer for this kind of protocols can work together in order to make the same language. The same language work, of course, on blockchain protocols and something that is going to stay there forever. So what is as an output is interesting because it's going to stay there and it's going to be available for everybody. The business model for us is very simple. Having the possibility to use the protocols as an SDK or whatever for a small amount of money, just when you need to work on that protocol. So thank you very much. I've been quite short, I know. Any question, maybe particular ones?
Got you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any questions? If there's questions, up with the hands. Otherwise, I forgot to mention that the live stream was also broadcasted to Katowice, where we went a couple of weeks ago, and there's a bunch of people watching it there. Question I'm going to read up now comes from Katowice. Biagio, where are you going? Did he just disappear? Are you afraid for the question from Katowice? Question from Katowice. Do you think the future of crypto lies in protocols controlled, for example, by VCs, venture capitalists, firms, or is there a chance we'll return to the roots and see more projects with solid fundamentals like Bitcoin or Ethereum emerge?
Quite a huge and interesting question. On my opinion, what we have to do is working on the need that we have to be present in the worldwide normal system, Web2 system of the government that and the companies, they work with particular rules. When you work with Singapore or Bahamas or Canary, or when you work within Europe, you have rules. So being in crypto world means no rules. Means you can spend whatever, you can use whatever, you can invest wherever, and nobody has to ask me anything. On the other hand, we have government. They want to have money in order to have the highway, the route, and the all the things that the hospital, whatever. So they need money. We need to maintain our money. What we need is to find a way to make them talk. I think the way we will find in order to have crypto going outside the crypto world will have to pass through the in a way sitting on the same table, and let's try to talk about that. Otherwise, on the other hand, you will have the tokenization of the euro made by the central government. What can you do if they do it? And if they say, okay, we are all thieves, and they will try to look for us and follow us and talk, where this money come from? So I think we have to. That's why we decided to stay here in Malta and to fund the company, the LTD, here in Malta, because we want to be compliant. We want to have the possibility to find the. For example, this morning I was with the legal and fiscal company that is following me, and I found and I proposed them. This is the way we can, for example, having the possibility to sell token from Europe to outside Europe. Is this fiscally possible? And they told me, if you do this, this, and that, as I was trying to do, you can do it, and it's going to be by the government absolutely acceptable. For example, in Italy, you cannot have you cannot have a wallet. You cannot have a wallet. You cannot put on balance the wallet. We found a way in order to have a wallet to be paid in token or crypto on the wallet, and then you change it on the crypto or stable, and then from that point you start with the bill and convert it in current money, so dollar or euros. Dollar or euros, just because we are in Malta. And this is very interesting because we are forcing the system. If we have lacks in the system, we will find a way to do it, and so it's going to be a problem of the government then changing the rules, you know.
Thank you very much for the question to Katowice. There's 2 more questions coming here. We need to wrap it up very soon, so 2 more short questions and short answers.
Good evening. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
So you said that in future the agents are going to talk to each other. So my ChatGPT agent, when I want to book a travel, is going to talk to the agent of the flight company and so on. And you said also that those agents don't speak the same language. Could you explain this more? Because in my mind, they both speak English, right? So
They speak the language of the protocols, that is, of course, English, but each agent there is going to be particular for you. It's not the fact that you make Gemini talk with GPT. You will have an agent that has to talk with an agent of booking, and the agent of booking has a particular vertical stuff and vertical history of what they put inside, and what is the, but this is on the example. You will have thousands of agents, different maybe because you will build up your agent in your company, talking with thousands of other agents, not passing through GPT or Gemini. They're not passing through. They're doing whatever they have to do, but talking to each other, one to the other. And they need to talk the same language. Then is not going to be generative. So the wonderful word is the fact that GPT is generative. So you can ask whatever to GPT. But what about if you have your agent talking to another agent? They need, particular for the company, they need to talk the same language. They are building up the protocols. That's all.
There is the final and last question of tonight. One short and sweet question and one answer.
Short.
I try to make it short. Thanks for the presentation. I think at the beginning you said something very interesting for me. You said that you want to bring Web 2 money into the Web 3.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I think it's a great thing. On the Web 3 side or the startup side, I see the benefit of it, right? Like you want to maybe structure a little bit how the fundraise is done, have a product before you launch, like basically what Emily said on her slide. So I'm not going to repeat that again. However, my question is more on the VC side. So when you talk to a Web 2 VC, they don't really understand an ICO. They don't really understand like the entire ecosystem. So I think there is a lot of education you end up doing there before you can even raise money. So how do you do this in your daily life? Like when you talk to VC, I saw you have a lot of projects. And if you found those VCs that understand Web3, can you give me their number?
We didn't talk before. We have a business department inside the company that is the academy, and the academy is exactly on that kind of study that we have to do with the VCs. And now I think it's the right moment because the VCs are not making any money anymore. They stopped everything. They really, they're not finding any more possibility to make money on the fact that they were on the early stage, and they used to invest in 10 different startups, and then selling everything in the very first stage because they were like 100 multiples, and then we need to do that, but we all need to do that because in this moment VCs are stopping investing our money because at the end it's our money. So we need to find a way to make them understand that they need to do that in order to be reliable for the Web2 investments. There's a huge amount of money willing to come to Web3. I'm sure about that.
I am also sure about that. Thank you very much, Biagio.
Thank you.
Before we wrap it up, a little shout out to our supporters that make this meetup possible. If you are in legal trouble and you don't want to go to jail, you should talk to WH Partners. They are the lawyers that we trust because they have been helping us and they know what's up in the crypto space. So if you have any questions about legality or taxation, talk to WH Partners. They're right there on the poster. And if you are trading yourself, and only if you are a successful trader, you should talk to the Bit Research because they are, let me just get this right before I mess it up, what I want to say. They are interested in getting traders as they are working with that themselves. So go and approach them. The bit research if you are a successful trader or want to be a successful trader, because they do research on the bits on the blockchain. Okay. We are going to be here again next week. See you at the bar. Thank you very much.